Hello, my name is Cody, and welcome back to Bards at Heart. And I wanted to talk about one of my favorite stories today of all time out of pretty much any group that I've been in. And it was actually a group I was running for Adventures League. And we had a new player in our group, and new players are so much fun for me, and I personally enjoy them. And I love the new element that they bring into it, whether they're really quirky and shy and kind of weird to the new experience, or they just full dive deep into it. And one of our new players was someone that I'd only heard about around our college campus, but I didn't personally get to know until he started playing. And for me, it was actually one of my first times DMing, so I was having a lot of fun writing some of these stories. And I wrote one where I introduced a new magic element into it, a new magic item that I was really excited about just because I had been reading a little bit about some of the different elements that you can add into D&D, which is so much fun for me. And it was great because the new player we had eventually became a good friend of mine later as we went on. But he wasn't really keen on the whole idea of everybody is a group, and he was very keen on the idea that he was the hero of the story. And it was great because we were just running a one-shot, and for him, instead of going for the traditional human fighter, decided to go for Dragonborn Paladin, which is a great choice. I love that idea. The only thing was that he was not lawful good in any way possible. He was at least chaotic on some scale, so it was fun having to deal with that as a DM in that experience. And one of the things that was great was that right before the party decides to venture on their quest, they actually stopped at a nearby store. And they ran into this very old, very crooked goblin lady and decide that it's a great idea to buy some potions from her. And I made all the players roll a perception check. None of them succeed, but one of them does notice that the healing potions had different color elements to them. And that was my tidbit of telling the players, hey, these potions are different. You're buying them thinking that they're healing potions, but in fact they're different potions. Now what I'd set up was that the potion lady wasn't alright in the head. So yeah, she did sell them healing potions, but she accidentally sold them some polymorph potions. Yay! So one of the players that actually buys them was our new player, the Dragonborn Paladin, and great friend of mine. Eventually decided to not even check the potions, but just throw them away into his bag of holding, and decides to continue on with the quest. Now, eventually down the road, when they did get to the temple that they were supposed to be heading towards, they did find out that there was a large encounter, and the Dragonborn Paladin actually went unconscious. And one of the players decides, I'm going to go up and heal him with one of the potions that he bought. And I said, okay, roll for chance. It was a 50-50 chance. And come to find out, the player didn't even know the difference between the two potions, so decides to give him what they thought was the healing potion. Eventually, I described the scene as I roll a percentile die to see what he actually transforms into in the polymorph table. And eventually, I describe as a bright white light illuminates around his body, and then eventually comes out even further, shining up the entire dark lit temple, until eventually the light collapses in on itself. And looking down before you, you don't see the Dragonborn Paladin anymore. But instead, you see one tiny little goldfish swimming actually in the layer of water they'd been treading through the entire time. And I give the Dragonborn Paladin his new character sheet, and I say, okay, well, your intelligence is a 2, so you're not really sure what's going on, and you can't do anything. You don't have your items, you don't have anything, you can't use spells or anything like that. So for the next 10 rounds, we had a goldfish as a party member in our group. And it is great because one of the things that had been going on around the table was that this guy was very naturally loud, just a very vocal person, but didn't even realize how loud he was being. So he's like yelling and talking up a storm and didn't even realize that he was interrupting the entire party. So eventually, when this happened, he just kind of sat there, frozen, just giving off this distant look, and eventually just said, "Oh, wait, what?" And just this immense moment around the table. It was fantastic, especially for me as the DM. Nothing can be more frustrating than someone interrupting your storyline, and there was no false intent on his part, believe me, but it was just this moment of him realizing as a new player that he does have to try and stay focused throughout the story while engaging too. And to this day, he still brings up the fact that I turned him into a goldfish. Well, I didn't. It was a party member. I only invented the polymorph potion. It wasn't on me, okay? It was just random chance, alright? It has been one of my favorite items to add into any D&D campaign session. So I really recommend, if you haven't already, I would add it and just see what kind of trouble that your players might get into. And who knows, they might use it in very creative ways that even you wouldn't even think of. So if you really enjoyed this story, please subscribe to the channel so that way you can keep up to date with some of these stories. And in the comments section, add one of your favorite D&D moments where it just kind of was just a spur of the moment sort of thing, sort of happening. And comment what one of your favorite D&D magic items is. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.